Hello, everybody. Well, there's actually nobody here yet, so that's fine. I'm going to stream by myself because I need to show you what we just learned. We just finished a 3-hour live on Nancy Guthrie, and we watched the news presser, and I was curious whether or not it was possible that there would be a ransom note coming in, only to learn just breaking minutes ago that Samantha Guthrie has received a ransom note, according to TMZ. Listen up.
Something happened here just a few minutes ago. We received an email at TMZ from somebody purporting
Welcome in,
to
everybody.
basically issue a ransom demand. I'm not going to read this, but the top line to it is that they are asking for money, a lot. They are asking for it in the form of Bitcoin, and they are putting an or else on this.
Right.
Now, they also say they do two things.
You don't want that number.
Right. They say two things. They say that that there is an address, a Bitcoin address that that they could send this money to, and then they give a description of something that Savannah's mother was wearing at the time of the abduction, and a damaged item in the house.
Both things are clearly mentioned because they want to prove that they're legit. That they have information about something that happened in the house. We
don't know.
Don't know if that is accurate.
We have called the sheriff's department. We've made multiple calls, spoken with the detective unit. We have passed on this email. We don't know whether this is legit or not. But I will say, this happens from time to time where a media outlet gets something like this. So just in due diligence,
the one thing we should
say to be taken very, very seriously. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, the one thing we should say is that we have confirmed it. At least the Bitcoin address that they've included in this email is legit.
Right. And the authorities will have to take this very seriously. This is a piece of material evidence that has been turned over.
So the Bitcoin address is legitimate. That's not good. What was I saying this morning? I had a feeling about. OMG.
They think an abduction happened. They have found substance in the house. The detective walked back a little bit. The sheriff walked back the blood idea. They said that things have been gathered and they are testing those substances.
Yeah.
But he did clarify that. This is a very open and active investigation.
Non-traceable.
So we will let you know. But right now, again, all we're doing is we've sent this on to detectives, and we will see.
Okay, I'm going to replay it for those just coming in. I'm going to replay it. It's just a short 2-minute clip. This is wild.
Something happened here just a few minutes ago. We received an email at TMZ from somebody purporting to basically issue a ransom demand. I'm not going to read this, but the top line to it is that they are asking for money, a lot. They are asking for it in the form of Bitcoin, and they are putting an or else on this.
Right.
Now, they also say they do two things.
You don't want that number.
Right. They say two things. They say that that there is an address, a Bitcoin address that that they could send this money to, and then they give a description of something that Savannah's mother was wearing at the time of the abduction, and a damaged item in the house.
Both things are clearly mentioned because they want to prove that they're legit. That they have information about something that happened in the house. We
don't know.
Don't know if that is accurate.
We have called the sheriff's department. We've made multiple calls, spoken with the detective unit. We have passed on this email. We don't know whether this is legit or not. But I will say, this happens from time to time where a media outlet gets something like this. So just in due diligence,
the one thing we should say
to be taken very, very seriously. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, the one thing we should say is that we have confirmed it. At least the Bitcoin address that they've included in this email is legit.
Right. And
No.
the authorities will have to take this very seriously. This is a piece of material evidence that has been turned over. They think an abduction happened. They have found substance in the house. The detective walked back a little bit. The sheriff walked back the blood idea. They said that things have been gathered and they are testing those substances. But he did clarify that this is a very open and active investigation. So we'll have to see what happens.
So we will let you know. But right now, again, all we're doing is we've sent this on to detectives, and we will see.
Wild. We literally just ended our 3-hour live stream an hour ago. I went to do the next live stream for Melody Buzzard, and only Marie Curie showed up, and I thought, oh, interesting. Well, because of this developing news, there's also been 2 new bits. Thank you, John. I did get your email. There's another bit of evidence that has come out. Cheryl Berry's emailing me while we're live. Yes, we're live, honey. Hang on a second. She's like, a ransom note. I'm like, yeah, yes, we are live. We are live talking about it. Oh, that's hilarious. It just goes to show you how unreliable YouTube is to notify people. It's a pseudonym, not anonymous. Yeah, let me show you. I pulled it up, Donna. And then I want to also show you a couple of new pieces of evidence that are very important that have come out in this case. Bitcoin is often misunderstood as anonymous, but it is highly traceable. So that's interesting. But I wonder, I don't know. It's interesting if they're not if they're out of country or something, maybe. The sender's address, the exact amount sent. Yeah, you can. So it is highly traceable. So it's a misunderstanding. A transparent blockchain ledger. So it's highly traceable due to its public, permanent, and transparent blockchain letter. While it offers pseudonymity, linking transactions to addresses rather than direct identities, advanced forensic tools, and know your customer regulations allow law enforcement to track funds. The key aspects to Bitcoin traceability include permanent public ledger. Every transaction is recorded forever, allowing anybody to view the flow of funds. Pseudonymity, not anonymity. While wallets are not explicitly named, once a wallet address is linked to a real-world identity via a cryptocurrency exchange, the entire transaction history can be traced. Law enforcement tools, authorities use forensic software to analyze the blockchain patterns, making it easier than ever to trace illicit activities. Obfuscation methods, users can make tracing harder by using mixers, tumblers, or privacy-focused wallets. However, these methods can often be bypassed by sophisticated state-level analysis, and the FBI are involved here. Bitcoin is not hard to trace for those with the right tools. It is generally considered traceable, especially compared to cash or some context-made private cryptocurrencies. Wow. If you were here earlier and at the beginning of our live, I just gave you my spidey sense was that they were going to, if this was going to be a ransom note, that it would hit today while they knew that her health would be declining. I'm very sad to learn that this is going on. This is really devastating. What do you think here? Is this unbelievable. TMC receives the ransom note. Let's just check in on some other updates. This is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Where is this? Yeah, there's another a massive piece that came out of news. When a ransom note is sent, it includes a specific Bitcoin address for payment. This is the anchor point. The moment the address is known, thank you, Donna, law enforcement flags it in their global monitoring system. Please start from the beginning. Please, what's going on? Okay, let me replay it. I'll replay it for you. TMZ has received, let's go back here. TMZ has received a ransom note for Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy Guthrie. Listen in.
Something happened here just a few minutes ago. We received an email at TMZ from somebody purporting to basically issue a ransom demand. I'm not going to read this, but the top line to it is that they are asking for money a lot. They are asking for it in the form of Bitcoin, and they are putting an or else on this.
Right.
Now, they also say they do two things.
You don't want that number.
Right. They say two things. They say that that there is an address, a Bitcoin address that that they could send this money to, and then they give a description of something that Savannah's mother was wearing at the time of the abduction, and a damaged item in the house.
Both things are clearly mentioned because they want to prove that they're legit. That
So
they have information about something that happened in the house. We
don't know.
Don't know if that is accurate.
We have called the sheriff's department. We've made multiple calls, spoken with the detective unit. We have passed on this email. We don't know whether this is legit or not. But I will say, this happens from time to time where a media outlet gets something like this. So just in due diligence,
the one thing we should
has
say
to be taken very, very seriously. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the one thing we should say is that we have confirmed it. At least the Bitcoin address that they've included in this email is legit.
Right. And the authorities will have to take this very seriously. This is a piece of material evidence that has been turned over. They think an abduction happened. They have found substance in the house. The detective walked back a little bit. The sheriff walked back the blood idea. They said that things have been gathered and they are testing those substances. But he did clarify that this is a very open and active investigation. So we'll have to see what happens.
So we will let you know. But right now, again, all we're doing is we've sent this on to detectives, and we will see.
Absolutely shocking. Wow. I'm just, sad that I said that I kind of felt this was going to happen, sadly. But listen to this. We did a 3-hour live stream earlier if you missed it. And then just after we ended our live stream, this came up. And this is also disturbing.
Where is Nancy Guthrie? 84 years old in her Arizona home, vanished. She is the mom of NBC's Today Show host, Savannah Guthrie. Fox News confirming new information in the case. Listen to this. The last time Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker was synced with her Apple devices was Sunday morning, and investigators discovered blood inside her home. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. The Pima County, Arizona sheriff confirming Nancy Guthrie may have been taken, kidnapped from her bed. But he has designated 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie's.
Sorry, Hope. I came back in because if you missed it, TMZ has received a ransom note. TMZ has received a ransom note for Nancy Guthrie. They've sent it to the police, asking for it to be in Bitcoin for a lot of money. So this is, the news update. And then we're just following right after we ended our last live. This has just been reported that her pacemaker, so they now have a time. Yeah, well, TMZ is never, I find TMZ is pretty good and reliable. And they're not saying that they know it's legitimate, other than that the Bitcoin address has been confirmed. And this news that we're going to play here now is, you just heard a little bit of it, that her pacemaker's last time it synced was 2 a.m., meaning it hasn't synced since 2 a.m. on the Sunday she was reported missing morning. So in the middle of the night, it synced. So in other words, they would be looking for dash cam footage or camera footage from people's Ring doorbells, etc. For a car leaving the property after 2 a.m., she would have been in the property in order for her heart pacer to sync with her iWatch. But that's the last time it synced.
Tucson home, a crime scene. They did that pretty early on, although no details why they suspect abduction. Here's the sheriff.
It is our belief she was removed from that home against her will. We're raising the clock here. The family has told us 24 hours without those meds could be fatal. And here we are at 30 plus hours and more. We never
Thank you,
give up.
Donna.
We'll always be hopeful that we find her safe and sound.
Hey, ladies,
But there is
sorry, you're back
a side
again.
of this that we just can't ignore when we see things in front of us.
Let's jump into the timeline now. Nancy Guthrie was last seen.
Okay, so if you're just coming in, TMZ has received and just reported TMZ received a ransom note. They're asking for a lot of money in exchange for Nancy Guthrie. Now, the Bitcoin address has been confirmed as valid, and they did mention what she was wearing. I suppose they're trying to show proof of life, but unless they have those, I guess I said earlier that, wouldn't they know the person if it was a caregiver on the camera? But then maybe the person was a random not a random, like a complete stranger to the family. So I don't know why they're disclosing her clothes unless they know now that they have access to the camera inside her home, which they did say they had. And so, if what they describe her as what they said in the letter to TMZ she was wearing at the time that she was taken and removed from her home, if this person is legit, then presumably the police, I hope, would see that on the camera.
Saturday night around 9:30, 9:45 after a dinner with her family. Her church alerted the family when she did not show up the next morning.
Again, I'm going to change. I'll add the ransom note. I'm just going to add question mark to it because, it's a ransom note, whether or not it's a fake ransom note or somebody that literally has Nancy Guthrie is yet to be determined, but let's keep watching.
Sunday service. They then did their own search, we were told by the sheriff's department during that news conference we carried live during this hour yesterday. The family searched and then contacted police to report her missing. And the timeline there was between 11 and noon. They did their own. By noon, the sheriff's department was in. The sheriff will not rule out foul play in this case. We knew that very early on as you look at the timeline. And yesterday, he confirmed criminal activity at the home and also announced an abduction, possibly, of Nancy Guthrie. Former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker is coming up with me in focus. Let's begin with senior correspondent Alicia Acuna outside Nancy Guthrie's home in Tucson.
Hi, Harris. You mentioned that Fox News Digital reporting that pacemaker last synced with the Apple devices around 2 a.m. We also understand, according to Fox News Digital, that those Apple devices were still in the home, the Apple Watch still on its charger at the time. Keep in mind, this is the last time that Nancy Guthrie was seen was in the evening of Saturday when the family dropped her off at her home after dinner. Now, we want to give you a better idea of what this neighborhood looks like and a sense of where she lives. We are in the northeast part of Tucson, in the Catalina foothills. Harris, I know you're very familiar with this area. You can see this area, which has many nice homes. It's also spaced out a bit when it comes to homes in proximity. We have been told that neighbors have been asked to turn any door camera footage into authorities, and we understand that is happening. Now, back here on the street, Harris, and with that in mind, I want to give folks a look at the street we're talking about. So you can see it's a beautiful street, lots of desert vegetation, a lot of cactus. What you can't tell is that there are actually quite a few homes, and that's by design. They're set into the back. What you also don't see, Harris, are lamps. You don't have lights here in the street. We were here at 3:30 this morning. It was pitch black. Part of that is local ordinance dealing with light pollution and such, but you really can't see anything. So the question is now, what do those door cameras hold? What were they able to see in the middle of the night in this already dark?
If you're just coming in, TMZ has received a ransom note for a lot of money. They wouldn't disclose how much, to be paid by way of Bitcoin. They have validated the Bitcoin account, but we don't know. They don't know otherwise if it's a legitimate ransom note, other than in the note, they do describe what Nancy Guthrie was wearing. And the police did say they have cameras. So if they were running inside the home, presumably they would be able to confirm that. Yeah.
Place. we will have to wait and see. One other thing, Fox Digital now confirming the Los Angeles Times reporting that there was blood found in the house. Fox News Digital now saying that it was just maybe a drop or two of blood just outside the home. We are still waiting for another update from the Sheriff's Department. Harris.
Look,
Okay, so just a drop or two of blood. So was she hit in the head? That's really interesting. The other thing, I just find it interesting that they didn't take things that she would need to walk. I mean, how many people would it take to remove somebody, to hold somebody up physically? I wonder how much support she would have needed if there was one or two people helping her to leave the home without her cane.
I saw you taking that walk very early, starting out on Fox and Friends this morning, and I thought it was so important for you to mention that, because after the sheriff spent a good amount of time during that news conference yesterday, just avid about how much they need technology and camera footage and check your ring bell and all of that, I thought about that. And I mean, the Skyline Drive area is pretty pitch black until the sun creeps up. I mean, there are not even a lot of security lights that are on unless you're moving around a lot. So otherwise, because there's so much wildlife up there, mountain lions and javelina, things would be going off suddenly. So you don't have that. They're positioned in such a way, the motion sensors for most homes, so that they don't keep going off. So even those cannot turn on lights repeatedly because of all the animal movement. It is a tough area to find someone in, but we'll continue to watch it to see if maybe she was taken outside that area. Alicia, great reporting today. Thank you. Nicole Parker, former FBI special agent, Fox News contributor, is with me now. There is a detail in this that I want to know about. So a pacemaker synced on Sunday morning. That was the last time that it was synced with Apple devices. The Apple devices, the charger that they were connected to, all still left in the home. The pacemaker, obviously, with Nancy. In Nancy.
I'm not talking about taking her over. I'm talking about the fact that she needed help walking. Somebody who took her without her walker is not prepared to help her walk for an extended period of time. And how much would a woman or man be able to walk with her to the car, are all things that the police are probably considering. If there's blood, if there was blood and she was immobile, then could somebody carry her? A man, I don't know. She didn't weigh that much, but still.
So what does this tell you in terms of the timeline?
This is a huge piece of evidence that has just been broken. And I think that is what this case will come down to, is technology. And the fact that the pacemaker was no longer there and able to sync to the devices, that is extremely crucial. I think another thing that law enforcement will be looking at were there any other devices that were attempting to, when you go into an area and it says, would you like to sync to this Wi-Fi? I'm sure that they'll be checking to see if the intruder brought any of their own devices to see if anything hit routers, to see if they can backtrack in that way as well. But I think it's important to note, victim selection in this case was extremely deliberate. This is not by chance. We know that the most vulnerable members of society are children and the elderly. And I just keep going back to, again, a very different case, a very different motive for sure. But Elizabeth Smart, she was, abducted from her home in 2002 in the dead of night with her little sister present. This is obviously different. It's an elderly woman, though, who was also equally as vulnerable. We know that there are pictures of her with her sweet daughter, Savannah, with a walking cane. The individual knew that she did not have the ability to defend herself. She is an elderly individual. They are most vulnerable, and it is not by chance. And the fact that the home is in such an area where it is set back from the street, no street lights, very difficult for anyone to track if someone was there. They're set on an acre of land with vegetation surrounding them. It's not like the Brown case where Ring doorbell cameras can capture, things in a very more urban area. It's going to be difficult for law enforcement, but do not underestimate the power of over 1,000 leads and tips that have come into law enforcement. They will be checking license plate readers in the surrounding streets and areas, because remember, this woman was taken from her home and had to have been transported in some way. Maybe not the exact neighborhood. If they turned down the lights, there were no lights, not a lot of cameras captured it. But even the surrounding streets and neighborhoods, law enforcement will be checking every single surveillance camera in that area in that time frame. And now you have the 2 a.m. time frame that helps them narrow in on when this actually occurred.
Yeah, and I mean, when you talk about, and Alicia did such a great job of showing that all morning long, the recessed positioning of a lot of those houses, it does give you a beautiful look at they're in the Saguaro National Forest, just above where this is at North Campbell and Skyline Drive. So when you look at that, you can't see a neighbor's porch from a neighbor's porch because everything is recessed back. And it is, I mean, these cacti are huge. These are not just baby ones that were built with new construction. And so all of that matters, because to keep an eye on each other as neighbors, you'd have to be on the street. Your last quick thought about just searching outside of this area. How does this work typically? Because they've been at this property. So what's next?
So what's next is they're, again, going to continue to pour through all of the evidence. The cell phone was there on site. Law enforcement will be going into that. We know that there was no ransom note left. There's no ransom demand based on what law enforcement has told us. And
Okay, so this recording took place, like I said, it dropped, which is really curious to me. This dropped 2 hours ago. The TMZ one dropped. Let me just go back out. TMZ one dropped an hour ago. And this just dropped. The one we're watching now, the Fox clips, dropped right after the presser. So I'm just wondering if this person that has her allegedly, if this is either a fake ransom note or if it's legitimately the person was watching the presser and something that was said. I feel like attention, like time to do this. I don't know. It's really a curious timing.
so again, they will be relying on the tips of the individuals in the neighborhood, any cameras, license plate readers, and also interviews. We cannot underestimate the power of human intelligence in the
Yes.
interviews. Who were the caretakers? Who are the people, the pool person, the mailman, the pest control person? Who knew that she lived in this home by herself? We know that Savannah Guthrie had her mother on set with her on the Today Show, and recently in November was even in Tucson with her mother on air. Who knew that? Was Savannah herself the target of something? Was there someone who had a grievance with Savannah? We do not yet know that, but I do know for a fact that law enforcement is assisting. We've got FBI, CBP, local, state law enforcement, all hands on deck. And most of all, Harris, the power of prayer.
That's right.
She has begged and pleaded for prayer. And I'll tell you, I've used prayer so many times in my investigations. It matters.
It does matter. You and I have talked about it. It matters in every facet of life, but particularly when something has gone so gravely wrong. As far as we know, they will find her. But right now, we don't know. Nicole, thank you. There's been a development as well. 11:30 Arizona time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, because there's just a 2-hour difference this time of the year. They haven't kicked up to being a 3-hour difference. Usually it's that, but they don't observe daylight saving there. So at 11:30 a.m. Arizona.
She's talking about the presser, which I just wanted to show that this happened. This was recorded before the presser. Do I think the ransom is legit? Wait, Ellie, you may address this ASAP. Yeah, I know. I'm wondering. I do. I feel like this is probably legit, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not super tapped in right now. But I do feel like, unfortunately, I do feel like it's legit. What a friggin' nightmare. In other words, I don't think somebody just sent it to play a joke. But the reason I pause and sort of second guess that is the timing of this happening right after the presser. The Bitcoin, I had no idea how it works. Hello, all. Hey, nurse. Nice to see you, honey. Nice to see you, honey. Yeah. I'm gonna play it again. And we'll see. I'm not going to stay too long, Donna, because we were already up live 3 hours with this case today. But we'll see if the cops come up with an update.
Something happened here just a few minutes ago. We received an email at TMZ from somebody purporting to basically issue a ransom demand. I'm not going to read this, but
Just trying to see the number. It said a lot of number. They said numbers. I'm trying to read. Sorry. Because he had him covering the amount. I think that's a 50 USA, 250 USA, 250 what? 250. Hold on, y'all. Hang on. I'm going to block myself because I want to turn my computer upside down. And I don't want you all to get dizzy. Will you get dizzy? I don't know. I don't know if you're going to go with me. Hang on. I'm trying to read his letter. I'm trying to read it. I think it's a 250 USA. And I don't know what that, if it's 1,000, can't be million. 250,000. It seems like 250,000. Save the pic and flip it. Yeah, let me yes, it is. It's 250. USA. 250,000 USA. Yeah. Here, let me remove this off the back. Upside down, right? But I think, whoops. I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is. See if reverse image can read it. That's too much work, honey, right now. I've been streaming 3 hours today. Let's listen up.
The top line to it is that they are asking for money a lot. They are asking for it in the form of Bitcoin, and they are putting an or else on this.
Right.
Now, they also say they do two things.
You don't want that number.
Right. They say two things. They say that that there is an address, a Bitcoin address that that they could send this money to, and then they give a description of something that Savannah's mother was wearing at the time of the abduction, and a damaged item in the house.
Both things are clearly mentioned because they want to prove that they're legit. That
So
they have information about something that happened in the house. We
don't know.
Don't know if that is accurate.
We have called the sheriff's department. We've made multiple calls, spoken with the detective unit. We have passed on this email. We don't know whether this is legit or not. But I will say, this happens from time to time where a media outlet gets something like this. So just in due diligence,
The one thing we should
has to
say
be taken very, very seriously. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the one thing we should say is that we have confirmed it. At least the Bitcoin address that they've included in this email is legit.
Right. And the authorities will have to take this very seriously. This is a piece of material evidence that has been turned over. They think an abduction happened. They have found substance in the house. The detective walked back a little bit. The sheriff walked back the blood idea. They said that things have been gathered and they are testing those substances. But he did clarify that this is a very open and active investigation. So we'll have to see what happens.
So we will let you know. But right now, again, all we're doing is we've sent this on to detectives, and we will see.
What do you mean those are for Nancy, honey? I don't want to pull those up without, like, I don't understand what those are, Hope. I'm looking for a police update. I mean, I don't consider TMZ. Thank you. Sorry, everybody. I was muted. Yeah, sorry. Hope, I got your email. I just don't want to pull them up yet. I have not seen anybody go live yet. I'm looking. I don't see the police. Now, they may not want anybody to go live if this is it, right? Ransom, Nancy Guthrie. I'm just, other than TMZ, but they're usually 18 minutes ago. Okay. Yeah, here we go. It's another channel now. Okay, so Sunrise is now also reporting this. Here it comes now. Okay, so because I'd hate to be Well, I don't know what you mean. I don't understand, Hope. You didn't send me any anything to do with it, so I have no idea what I'm looking at. So I can't tell you if it's interesting or not. Can you elaborate with what you sent me?
US TV show host Savannah Guthrie's mother is still missing this morning, with police believing the 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was abducted from her home in Arizona. And in breaking news just moments ago, TMZ reported they had received an unverified ransom note demanding substantial money to return the NBC anchor's mum. That is quite the revelation. For more, we're joined by Michael Harrigan, a former FBI agent, live in Washington, D.C. Good morning to you. Let's start with that unverified ransom note. Does this type of thing happen in these circumstances? Are we going to get furphies like this potentially?
You know, you really could, Matt. I think what you see here is with her daughter's notoriety as a major media figure and the publicity surrounding this case, there's a good chance that individuals out there will feel the need for publicity and may write up a ransom note and submit it. So I think your reporting is good here where you stated it was unverified. And that's an important point here, is that law enforcement has to look at what's in that note, and they're going to try to see if there's information in there that only the kidnapper or somebody involved would know, such as, you know, the signs of damage in the house or injuries to the victim, or even what she was wearing. So while many of these can come in, I think this is significant here because there seems to be some reporting that there was that information in there that the police have to look through and verify, though. But it's definitely could be a positive turn in this case for the family.
Okay, if they can verify that note, what happens next?
Well, if they can verify the note, that's where the hard part begins, to try to track down who these individuals are. The number one priority in these kind of cases is always going to be the welfare of the victim, is to try to get the victim back. So that is always primary to secondary, which is getting these kidnappers. So they're going to be using a lot of resources here to look at that note, whether it was sent, it appears to have been sent electronically, to track back what ISP, internet service provider was used, if there's any digital footprints in there, anything that could give an indication of who sent it and where it came from.
Michael, we can only feel for the family right now and what they're going through. In the movies, we know that that whole idea of don't pay.
I've got an article here to show the sheriff's office is refusing to answer whether or not this is legit or not. So they have not denied it. They have not denied it. Let's just finish this for another minute and a bit, and then I'll read that article to you.
The ransom that the people are requesting. What's your advice there? Would you do it?
Well, in a lot of those instances, you have, or in some instances, you have families that receive ransom notices, and for some reason they don't involve law enforcement and they pay those ransoms directly. You're going to see a lot of that on international kidnappings in other countries, where individuals for profit or ideology, they take someone hostage, send a communication to the family, and the family pays the ransom and the person's released most of the time. Here, stateside or domestically, what you're going to see is in most of these instances, you're going to see law enforcement involved. So while there could be a consideration to pay the ransom at some point, generally law enforcement is going to be working closely with the family here, while they also look behind the scenes to try to find out where she is and get her back safe.
Yeah, this is a tragic reality for the Guthrie family. Our thoughts are with them. Thanks for your time this morning, Michael.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll read you this article here now. Hope, I don't know where you got the information. What is this, honey? Why are we sending it to Donna? What is going on? I went to take a shower and saw those pics of boyfriend. Where did you get them, hun? I just don't want to show them unless it's been reported. but I don't want to report. She's going to do the research and see when it, and I am when we get off. She's going to do, okay. Yeah, I just don't want to show it here in case. I just don't know where you saw it. That's all. I don't want to put myself out there for any liabilities here. But okay, so let's just read this and then I'm going to call it a wrap unless something else comes up. But this just happened at 3:06 p.m. Eastern. It's 3:58. So basically, immediately after TMZ went live, sheriff declines to say if a ransom note was offered for Savannah Guthrie's mother. He has not been shy in saying, I did not say there was blood. Right? He hasn't been shy in, saying other things. So I'm just curious as to whether or not he's hiding something because he's not, I don't know. Pima County, or Pima, I think it's Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos would not say whether a ransom note has been offered in the investigation into the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie, the mother of today's show host Savannah Guthrie. He did say we were looking into, because somebody asked at the presser, and I even stopped and commented because his answer was interesting. We're looking into all those those possibilities. So he didn't there either. So at a press conference Tuesday, the Arizona County Sheriff's Office twice. See, there we go. At a press conference Tuesday, the Arizona County Sheriff's Office twice sidestepped questions about whether potential kidnappers have made any demands as the search enters its third day. We have all kinds of investigative leads we're working on, Nanos said when asked by a reporter whether any demands have been made by kidnappers. Another reporter followed up on the topic near the end of the press conference. You were asked if there was any ransom, and you didn't say no. You said we're following all leads. Does that mean a ransom has come in? The reporter asked. We are following all leads we have. That's all I can tell you. We've got hundreds of leads, and it's from you that produce those leads that, oh, you know what I'm picking. Tell me if you're getting this vibe. Nanos responded, crediting journalists with spreading the word of the disappearance by telling people we need help, and I'm grateful for that, but I'm not going to get into all of that. We have a team designated to deal with all of our leads. They're looking into all that. We are sharing all our leads with the FBI. They are helping us in evaluating those leads, how good they are, where the priority should be, he continued. Nancy Guthrie was last seen Saturday night at approximately 9:30 p.m. We have now since learned that her pacemaker, the last time it synced with her iPhone or iWatch, was at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, and it has not synced since then, which is concerning. A church member notified her family the next morning when the 84-year-old did not show up as usual. Her family called the police after searching the home. Nano said Monday that officials believe Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home against her will in a possible kidnapping or abduction. They've also said, we did not say there was blood inside the home or outside the home. It's been reported by numerous agencies, Fox News, and a couple others now, that blood spatter, apparently a small drop of blood, was found outside the home. The longtime NBC anchor mother does not suffer from dementia, the sheriff said, but has physical ailments that prevent her from walking more than 50 yards on her own. She also takes medication that is necessary for her survival. Could be very questionable people. Anyone know all ethnic backgrounds? Yeah, Hope, let's keep following that lead. I'm happy to keep looking into it. I just don't want to put those up there right now without validation. But thank you. I think we're going to call it a wrap. We've already been live today. I'm going to try to do I'm going to probably do a reading tomorrow because I'm going to be going to visit my daughter. I might come on live later in the day. But likely I'll do a reading unless there's some updates because I'm going to go visit my granddaughter. My daughter has the day off tomorrow. Okay, everybody. Thank you for being here the second time today. Let's keep on this. And yeah, if you find anything that confirms those pictures are legitimate, let me know. Send me the information that you have to validate it, and then I can show them. And everybody, thank you again for being here. Love and light. See you soon.